everybody, this is Trevor, and thank you for coming to my channel today. First off, I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. It is January 2nd. Yes, it's January 2nd, 2023. That's the first time I've said that yet. So January 2nd, 2023. Again, hope everyone's happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and had a good New Year's. Okay, so that has been said. Today, I want to talk about something that I just became aware of maybe just a month ago, and it's a term called the homeless industrial complex. And I thought, wow, it ties into the welfare state. And this term that I heard it's actually been coined by more liberal people that I've been talking to and listening to. Liberal Democrats, the United States, here, liberals in Canada, they've been coming up with this term, the homeless industrial complex. And it is akin to I'm sure everybody's heard of it, but if you haven't heard of it, it's the military-industrial complex. And, that's a term that's been around. President Ike, is that who said it? He was General Ike, I believe, in the 1950s in America. Don't quote me on that. I know who said it. He was a former general in World War II and then became President of the United States in the 1950s. Was it President Ike? I have to look that one up again, but I can visualize him saying it. Older gentleman, kind of bald. He was a former general in the U.S. military. He coined the phrase the military-industrial complex. And he warned Americans about, hey, let's... you can't let this become an industry. War cannot be a big business. Okay, and that's what the military-industrial complex is. For, basically your politicians, public sector workers, private companies that make the arms for military. That's all the way up from your soldier all the way up to the most massive aircraft carriers and whatever. All that. That's the military-industrial complex. And it's a big business. It's an absolute big business. And it really doesn't matter what country you're in. Now, the phrase, I believe, military-industrial complex was coined in the United States, but, it goes for anywhere. Okay, I live in Canada. It goes for Canada. Our military budget doesn't come anywhere near close to the United States, but we have another budget which does fall in line with the homeless industrial complex, which is a welfare state, and that's what Canada is. It's no surprise. It is a socialist country in Canada. So yeah, the money that the government takes from us and calls it, taxation here in Canada, it just goes to pay for, the welfare state. So in the United States, the phrase military-industrial complex was brought about in a warning to the people saying, hey, watch out, because, war is going to be a big business, and arms companies that make weapons for the government, they're just going to be raking in the cash. It's good for the government, good for the corporations building the weapons. It's like win-win. Hey, the government can just keep appropriating money from the private sector to, pay for this, and then the companies make this. It's like a dog chasing its tail. It's just the military-industrial complex is a massive, massive redistribution of wealth from private citizens who own small businesses. It's just a redistribution of wealth. So that started in the 1950s. Now, in the 1960s, here we brought in Canada and America and probably the UK and anywhere else in the world, definitely the Western civilization here, we brought about the welfare state. And that is the redistribution of wealth from private individuals to pay for whatever socialized medicine, education, the left side of the political spectrum, which is typically, again, like your medical, hospitals, education, that's basically, and then obviously on the right side of the political spectrum is more so your military-industrial complex with your police and military and courts and whatnot. But you get the picture, okay? If you're liberal conservative, you know which side of the spectrum that government redistributes the wealth for the welfare state and for the warfare state. So, but this new term that's come out by liberals, and I'm cool with it. They call it the homeless industrial complex. And it's akin to the military-industrial complex in the fact that money is being redistributed from the public again, and it's just being put. Politicians take it, and they, it's like laundering money. They just, they take it from us and give it to themselves and their friends and the corporations. So I'm going to. Now, again, I know I'm in Canada, and I've had several listeners say to me, why do you talk about America so much? So this is just a little sidebar here. Yes, I'm from Canada. I talk about America in almost every one of my videos, okay? Let's face it, America has been the biggest boy in the schoolyard since World War II, okay? They're the guys, they're the big boys on the block, okay? And Canada and the United States are connected, okay? We are connected at the hip, okay? So yes, if this offends you, if you're an American going, oh, what's this Canadian? No, well, you know what? I'll sit here and do a live stream with any American who wants to talk to me about American history even, okay? Like, I'm not here to offend you Americans, okay? Hell, I want to move to your country. I want to get out of the socialist paradise known as Canada, and I would love to get into somewhere in the United States, preferably like Wyoming, okay? So, look, so just please bear with me, and I think that you can agree with me. I do all my research, and I will relate my shows, Canada, America. I do another show, Third Rail Radio, with a good friend of mine, Ben Emlyn Jones from the UK. So, that's where I talk about my world news from. So please bear with me. If you're an American, just don't keep looking at me like, oh, it's just a Canadian. Why is he talking about us? Well, I talk about you guys because you are a great nation, okay? It's a great nation, and, like I said, we're connected at the hip. My parents have been U.S. citizens now since 2003. My brother he married an American woman back in 1992. Okay, 3 nephews. They all live in the States. Okay, so I'm quite connected to the United States with family, and I'd like to be connected there for employment as well, and have a house and live out my days there. Okay, so that being said, so what I wanted to do, I dug around, didn't have to dig too deep. I was listening to a woman from a show on YouTube, and this is a great guy. I like to go to him. He's funny, but he's smart. He just, he knows how to inject the humor into the intelligent conversation. Is Nick Johnson. Go to his channel. I like it. He talks about, like unboxing. He'll say like unboxing Wyoming or unboxing Idaho or unboxing Florida. And he goes through all the counties and cities and towns and states in America. And he just did an interview with a woman, and she says her profession is social worker. She's, an Angelino, she calls herself, born and raised Angelino, from Los Angeles, obviously. And she's had it, okay? And she said that she's a Democrat, and, she's voted Democrat. So I'm taking this information in, and she's gathering. She goes out and she says, she counts the number of homeless in LA and whatnot. Like, she's really on. This is her specialty. So, I heard her talk about again the homeless industrial complex, and it is a big racket. And it's just going to take this little bit of information here that she shared, and I'm going to share it with you. I like it. Again, this guy's Nick Johnson. Go to his YouTube channel. Really good guy. I like it. But she's said that, look, the HUD. Now, I've heard of this program before, the Housing and Urban Development from the federal U.S. government, okay, HUD program. And they redistribute the wealth from the private citizen, and then they give it back to Los Angeles in the form of a $1 billion check per year. That's $1 billion that Los Angeles gets every year for their housing and development program, okay? And that's just one city. So imagine you factor in, your other major cities in the United States. Miami, New York, Chicago. I don't know if Detroit doesn't seem like they're getting any money, but anyways, that's a whole new story. But that, Seattle, like you just take all the major cities, all the towns across Canada. If LA is getting $1 billion a year from the HUD program, from the federal government per year, $1 billion every year, how many, you total up all the other cities, it's huge. It will rival the military industrial complex, okay? And that's just the HUD program. I mean, you factor in all the other programs that the welfare state redistributes the wealth from you and I, the hardworking people that go out and help the public sector workers get their paychecks. How much more money are they redistributing? Okay, local, regional, federal government. So just this one program from the federal government to Los Angeles is $1 billion a year. So that's a huge amount of money. So whatever else, Los Angeles, the county of LA, whatever money they appropriate from private citizens to pay for this homeless, the welfare state, how much more? Okay, so now I do hear a lot of people bitching about this kind of stuff. And then they'll bring out information like this. So that's the next step. And then they do come out with their solutions, which I don't agree with, okay? So again, I'm here. I'm bringing you the information, and I'm going to give you what my solution to this would be. And first of all, we have to really cut down the taxation, okay? I mean, this is all it is. This is just taxation. This $1 billion transfers have to be cut massively. So California is an example. You want to get rid of your homeless industrial complex, but here's another. Okay, so I have solutions to it. But here's the problem as well too. How many politicians in LA, just LA alone, that are getting that $1 billion HUD transfer payment are willing to give that up? Okay, how many politicians are going to give that up? I really think they use this homeless situation, and just look at Los Angeles alone, as it's a big business. Okay, it's a big business. It's the homeless industrial complex, like the military industrial complex. It's a business. So what incentive do politicians have to get rid of $1 billion transfer every year? What do they have? I mean, you look at even the private sector that's working with the government in trying, they think they're trying to do something for the homeless, which is fascism, okay? When you get the corporations and government working together, that's a real Mussolini, you make him smile. These private companies that are building homes for the homeless, according to this woman on Nick Johnson's show, some of these homes are like $1 million, $700,000, $800,000, up to $1 million. What? That's just ridiculous. I mean, it's just, who's getting the money? Everybody's getting rich, okay? Everybody's getting rich off the poor guy on the street. The homeless on the street. They are a big business, and politicians do not want to get rid of that, okay? Politicians, they don't want to get rid of it. But they're going to have to, because when you get liberal Democrats who are born and raised in California that are coming out with terms like the homeless industrial complex, okay, the politicians are going to have to wake up and go, oh, okay, and maybe do something about it. Maybe something will be done about it. I'm not sure. Because obviously the military industrial complex, that was coined in the 1950s. It hasn't slowed down any. Excuse me. It hasn't slowed down at all. So obviously the welfare state, it's not slowing down any. And politicians are using these transfer payments just to line their own bank accounts. They get bigger houses, bigger cars. So I don't think there's any incentive for politicians to clean up their neighborhoods and get rid of the homeless industrial complex. There's no incentive. So, but if people can push back on this and do something about it, okay, this is what I propose, okay? You're on the street. There's interviews with people that are like, I just watched a woman who said she was a former RN, a registered nurse, and didn't want to go along with all the, cerveza sickness policies that have been instituted in California, and she's now living in her car. I wonder, it's anecdotal perhaps, but I wonder how many other people are like that. Okay, so my solution is give people pride in themselves to earn money. Okay? So you got to lower those taxes, California. You got to get rid of them. And you got to bring back, I mean, you didn't just shoot yourself in the foot, you shot yourself in both feet by having such an enormous taxation system. And you got your guys like Joe Rogan moving out, okay? Multi-million, worth tens of millions of dollars. You got Elon Musk, worth like what, at least $100 billion at least, or close to that. He's gone. He moves his company. You have so many companies that have left California. So you didn't just shoot yourself in one foot, California. You got shot in both feet. You did it to yourself, but you can get back up. And any place like California can get back up. But what you got to do, you got to bring back those jobs. You got to bring back incentive, okay? Just for San Bernardino brought in Amazon. Now, I do feel that, look, Amazon out there, their starting wage is $17 an hour. So go get that job for $17 an hour. If you're there from San Bernardino watching this video, can you tell me why you can't get that job? If there's an opening, get it. Because you know what? In 6 months, maybe you get promoted. You work hard. You work hard there and you get promoted to supervisor. You get $1 or $2 an hour raise. Okay, maybe it's a husband and wife that are both gotten jobs there, and maybe one of you guys can say, "Hey, maybe I'll go become a truck driver, get my CDL, and maybe I can get deliveries for Amazon." There's so many opportunities, and we need to give that to people. And how do you get rid of homeless? I mean, you'll never get rid of homeless. You'll never, ever. Look, LA has a place called Skid Row. Okay, Skid Row. I mean, it's been there from my understanding, probably since, again, the 1950s. But now Skid Row it's spilled all out over Los Angeles. So, and why? Because of the jobs are moving out. Okay, and the redistribution of wealth in the form of the HUD program. That money comes in, politicians aren't going to use it. They're not going to spend it wisely because Milton Friedman coined the term. The government is strangers spending strangers' money. That's what government is. So they're not going to spend the money wisely. They're going to keep it for themselves. So I say cut the taxes, cut these programs out. Bring in business. You're going to have to get on your knees, California, all you politicians, and beg back there. Or more people are going to leave. More wealthy people are going to leave. But that goes for any place in America, Canada, the UK. You want to bring prosperity. You want to you'll never get rid of homeless. But there's always going to be people that just cannot cope and live in society. But what you need to do, and the government doesn't seem to understand this, is that, and this is why I'm a big advocate for, we separated government and religion. I think we should separate government and the economy. Okay? Until we do that, these situations are just going to continue to grow and grow and grow. Okay? So, yeah, we got to bring back pride into people, allow them to work. And what has the government done since March 2020, especially like here in Canada? I'll go back. I mean, Trudeau has mean, it's so difficult for people to keep their jobs and want to go to a job, you know, because of the old arm tickets. You know, forcing people to get the arm ticket. So, you know, policies like that. Got to scrap all that stuff. You've got to allow people to work. You want your area to prosper. California and everything in it. And Canada, UK, Germany, whatever. If you want it to prosper, you have to bring jobs to people. Okay, and not just... and jobs where you can be promoted within. That's great too. Or just give good paying jobs. You know, like minimum wage, not a fan for that either. Not a fan for that either. That doesn't prove minimum wage doesn't. It's like a union wage. Okay, there's no incentive. Okay, I'd rather go in and say, hey, McDonald's, pay me $2 an hour, and I'll work hard for you. And next thing you know, maybe I could be making $20 an hour. I'm making more than minimum wage. You know, pay people what they're worth, for goodness sake, and people will. People will be lazy and only give you a certain amount. You're going to pay those people. But I think the majority of people really want to work hard. So if you want to get rid of this homeless industrial complex, especially in California, you're gonna have to bring the business back. You've got to allow people to have the pride to earn a solid paycheck. Okay, you've got to bring the businesses back in. You've got to allow trucking to come in and out. For Christ's sake, every time I turn around, the truckers got some new goddamn regulation slapped on them as soon as they enter California, for Christ's sake. You know, you can't have trucks that are older than 2010. The fluid, the diesel, the DEF fluid, they have to put in these fucking tanks and stuff to fill their trucks up, okay? It's ridiculous. California needs to severely cut out their regulations, their taxes, allow people to earn a paycheck, okay? You know, clean the area up, okay? You know, just that's what you need to do. And again, you're going to always have, like LA will always have Skid Row, okay? That's just going to be there. It's just people don't want to work, but that's what you need to do. And I use California's example here in Canada. Same thing, you know, Vancouver's, you know, it's got a problem there too. But the reason why, again, I talk about the United States and with the homeless industrial complex, as opposed to Canada, is really, it comes down to weather too. You have to be severely mentally ill to want to live on the streets in Canada, especially during the winter. I mean, it gets a little cold up here, okay? So the homeless problem in Canada, I mean, it's obviously not anywhere near as big as in the United States, especially Southern California. But again, in Canada, we have our problems with the welfare state. Definitely Canada has gone the route of socialism since the 1960s. And I'd say, you know, the U.S. has got that military-industrial complex, but that's overt. But the covert one here, and it is being called out, is the homeless industrial complex, which really links into the welfare state. So there we go. That's my view on the homeless industrial complex, and those are my solutions. If you have any solutions that are different than mine, or you like mine, comment, thumbs up, thumbs down, share, please subscribe, and hit the bell notification, okay? I enjoy everyone who's come here, and, you know, it's been been doing the show for just over a year now, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Still going to be getting the shows out. I hope you enjoy it too. And if you do enjoy it, you know, show me that support by liking, view the videos right to the end, subscribe, hit the bell notifications, and share the videos, okay? Thanks very much. I hope everybody's well, and I'll see you next day. Stay free.